So we've got my E30 here, 325i. I've owned it for a while now. Mainly I originally bought the car because it was just a nice car to have. It looked nice, drove nice, and really just a fun car to own and drive. One of the things I had decided to do, other than just general servicing, keeping it in reasonable condition, to do a bit of an engine conversion. One of the things I wanted to do when the engine was out was pretty much started with the idea of wanting to tidy things up just a little bit, make it look in fairly reasonable condition, much like how it was when it was fairly new. Originally it started with the idea to repaint the engine bay. The paint was very faded and old. So after I'd removed the old motor, I stripped everything down. All of this was out. It was pretty much stripped to a bare shell from the firewall onwards. All headlights, bumpers out. Resprayed it in original silver, light silver. It's called a sterling silver, this one. I didn't really want to, wasn't really aiming for nothing show condition, so just mainly making it look nice and neat. Wasn't really into shaving any of the gradients or impressions, or call it what you want. So sanded the original seam sealer, didn't want to really affect any of that, just make it how it was but with new paint, so to say. After that was done, I started by replacing all the sound deadening, new BMW items. With one that wasn't available was a center one. I was able to clean it up and match it to look like the other new items, fairly indistinguishable. Pretty brittle to install, very hard to get it to mold to the chassis as it did originally, especially the center part, but ended up fitting fairly reasonably well. Renewed all the bolts where we can, replated. At that stage I realised, when I obviously repainted the engine bay, changed a few things around. One thing that looks new makes the thing next to it look pretty old and crap. So for all the money that was spent, I could have realised that it would have been much easier to buy a new car, Benz, AMG, even a VW if you like, but on those cars you can't do much except for an exhaust tune and give it a nice detail and just drive. So that's why I stuck with this little E30, even though there's a fair bit of things that needed to be done. I noticed that all the original harnesses around this side were disintegrated, falling apart everywhere, so rewrapped everything, took all the wires apart, all new factory cloth tape. It's a very nice bit of tape, protects the wiring against temperature, abrasion and whatnot. The regular electrical tape and ABS one. Cleaned up a fuse box area when I reassembled the fuse box, cleaned up everything around relays, new cover. Over to the ABS area. Old unit was very weathered, so cleaned it up as best as possible. So we'll try to block the ports off so nothing gets in there. Replated all the old bolts, brackets that were very old, corroded. All new headlight adjustment hydraulics. This E30 had vertical headlight aim as an option, where you can adjust the height of your lights with a switch inside. I did notice when I got the car that wasn't working, so pretty extensive job to replace that, as all the hydraulic pipes are actually integrated into the factory wiring loom that leads all the way to the driver's side where the switch is. All new headlight indicator plugs, plug housings. Tied it up, all wiring harnesses around here. To the front of the car, not too much going on, just tied it up a harness. All new tyres, supported it like it was originally. Over to the driver's side, I've got tied it up a harness again. All new plug housings everywhere, can't see a lot of them as they're dangling down there. Receiver dry, headlights, indicators, fog lights, all ready to be connected. And basically up until now, that's about it. I've installed a new heat shield around where the steering is. It was almost impossible to try to clean the original one up, stainless steel, without putting any holes or dents in it or disfiguring it during polishing. So decision was made just to put a new one in. Fitted fairly well, bit of work involved to mould it around, all good without any large gaps or whatnot. And yeah, that's about it up until now.